Hi everyone, it's Patty. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. For today's project, we are creating Easter tags for Easter baskets for all the littles that are coming to our house on Easter. So starting off, I am using Waffle Flowers Spring Egg Coloring Duo stencils. I used the Spring Egg die and the Lacy Ovals die from Waffle Flower. And then the inks I am using are from Catherine Pooler, and I used Do-Si-Do, Be Mine, Lilac, It's a Boy, Sage, and Mint to Be. And it's a lot of inks, but I used, some of them I just used a little bit, just for a little bit of shading, as you can see. So not a lot of in-depth anything, just to get a little more color onto the eggs. And so this is C9 Aqua Sky that I'm using right now for the light blue egg. And so this stencil lines up easily. There's some corner marks, which I completely ignored. I just put down the first layer and I was able to match all the layers immediately with that. The only time I did have a problem was I was using Simon Hurley's pastes, and because there was dimension, getting the stencil lined up was a little bit tricky, but not horrible. And I do show me doing that. I figured it out. It just took like 20 seconds longer to figure it out. But I will say the dimension made when you're spreading the paste a little tricky. So we'll see that a little further on. So then this is the final layer. And it's just wonderful how cute these eggs are. I just love them. And I did, with the die set, the detail layer. With the die set, it cuts the egg out perfectly. There's just a little 1/8 of an inch border around the egg using the die. So here I'm coming in with the detail layer on the eggs and using some Hero Arts gold wax. And I like how that works. It's a little thicker than the pastes, and it's got a little bit of a different color and a little bit of a different shimmer. So here I have used the spring egg die, and the die just embosses and does thumb cuts into the egg, and then the stencil matches it perfectly. So you can get in there, so there's more dimension, and then because it does cut some of the pieces, it doesn't attach them, but you can lift up the flowers and have the flowers show a little more dimension, and you can do it with the egg tips and that. It's really a well thought out die. So here I blended the pink eggs first so that I could use the one color, the It's a Boy, and then get purple stripes on the eggs but get blue leaves on the flowers, which is what I was going for. And then doing the same thing here. And so I wanted one egg a little brighter and one egg a little more subdued, and you can see that by the colors there. And then coming in with the next layer, and what's so great, excuse my hair there, what's so great about using a grip mat like this is I figured out I don't have to move the stencil. I can, rip the stencil up and all that. I just rotate. It made life a little easier. I don't have to rip up the cardstock and move it. I can just move the stencil and rotate. So that made the whole project a little easier. So I'm doing 2 at 1, and then I will die cut all of these out. And so on this one, I decided to do a lighter green on the other side, going with the light colors, and I forgot to wipe it off, which did not affect the project at all. So here I did one layer with Simon Hurley Solar Paste, and it looks great on that C9 Peacock cardstock. And now I'm doing a second layer, and you'll notice when I pull it up that it spreads just a little bit because the stencil's a little high because there's dimension from the original layer, but it still looks fine. So that's just something I wanted to show you so that you know if you decide to do that it happens. So I've cut out all of my eggs, and then I'm going to figure out which of the Lacy Ovals background I want to use to finish up the tags. So just put one in there. I know I need to use the largest Lacy layer. Pull that out, cut out my backgrounds, and the colorful, the colorful backgrounds are from Simon Says Stamp Color Blend cardstock, so it's already blended like that. And I just had to cut it out. And there's a nice shine to the cardstock. It's glossy, so it looks really great. And then just regular Simon Hurley white cardstock for the other for the white backgrounds. And then I don't own a lot of lace, so I just went in and grabbed some floss that I thought would look cute. And I'm using my Crocodile to punch holes in the top. And so I'll just take that and cut some floss to make the hanging part of the tag. And then I'll use the floss to make a bow as well. And it did take me a second to figure out how to attach the bow. And after trying to tie it on, I gave up and I just glued them on and they turned out just fine. It's like we make our own extra work for ourselves. So I'm just doubling up the floss to tie the bow. So I used all 6 strands and then I doubled up the floss. So there's 2 bows with 6 strands each, if that makes sense. And just cutting it apart. And here I'm getting extra to try and tie it on, and it just did not work at all. But that's the thrill of card making. So I give up and I rip it all apart because it just didn't work. So I untied it all there, broke out the glue, which is what I should have done in the first place, and glued it on. And so I did the exact same thing with all the other floss for all the other tags. And so here's how they turned out. I think they're super cute. So that's on the C9 Peacock, or I'm sorry, C9 Aqua Sky cardstock. That's on Basil Craft cardstock. And then that's on the Simon Hurley white cardstock. And I just like how the different papers make a different look. This is the stencil on the C9 Peacock using the Simon Hurley solar pastes. And again, that's on Simon Hurley white cardstock. The Basil Craft, and you can see the leaves are gold there. They look a little dark, but they're gold solar paste on that. And then again, the Simon Hurley. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great week. We'll catch you again. Bye-bye.